All right, we're here with Rod Ensminger. I'm Nick Jacobs. We're going to be talking about Mr. Bill Withers and Rodney's story with him back in the day, how he acquired this record and got Bill to sign it.
Well, you can see it says Bill Withers' greatest hits, obvious, just the two of us and Soul Shadows. And on here are Cognac, a Rose. I think these were called Sherman cigarettes back in the day. I asked Bill about that. And then on the back, you can see a bottle of champagne, some ladies' high heels that maybe he ended up taking them off, and a bottle of Dom Perignon and some caviar. It looks like a shrimp up there, but the finer things in life. Anyway, the story behind this is I was a big fan of Bill Withers, but I co-wrote a song with Jay Ferguson back in the day, the LA rocker who was in Joe Gunn's Spirit and had some solo success with Shakedown Cruise and Thunder Island, etc. He started doing films. He was also the writer as a note of the theme song for The Office. That's besides the point. But anyway, I wrote a song with Jay. I met him in the late 80s and became friends with him and told him I had some song lyrics and some songs I wanted to write. So he met me up in at the breakfast house up in Montecito, or Summerlin, I guess you could say, and we wrote a song. So meanwhile, I wanted to do something with the song, and my dad had a friend named Terrell Harrison, who was an ex-Navy vet, who was friends with Bill Withers. Most people don't know, but Bill didn't get famous when he was 21. He was 40-some years old when he had his first hit. He spent 12 years in the Navy. And Terrell retired from the Navy, and my dad retired from the Army, and they became friends in college on the GI Bill. And as a note, Terrell was a wonderful man, and his wife Jeannie were upstanding citizens in the city of Oxnard. He was a dedicated father and a wonderful man, and very close friends with Bill Withers. So I can't remember if he gave me Bill's number or we mailed it to Bill and Bill called me. I was living in South Oxnard at the time, and he asked me to come down to his place. So I drove down in my 78 Rabbit diesel couldn't get two nickels to rub together, and I go to Benedict Canyon and I walk into his mansion. And he was a very gracious host that day. I saw pictures of him and Muhammad Ali on the wall on his grand piano, and a photograph of his first girlfriend or first wife, who was the actress in Room 222. It was a television series about teachers at this school, and she was a black teacher that was a major star on television. Anyway, Bill liked the song, and so he was trying to think of some things he might do with it. And while I was there, he called Michael Jackson's manager, who was living in Ojai at the time. I should have been more prepared. I can't remember his name. Maybe it'll come to me in a while. But it was interesting hearing him talk to him over the phone and setting up a date to eat at Tommy's Burgers. And I didn't even know what Tommy Burgers was, but it sounded pretty cool. So at the end of the day, I was leaving and I saw this dreadnought, a D-28 dreadnought in the home over there, and I picked it up and stroked it a little bit and played some chords. It had a little crack on it. And he says, "That's a nice guitar." He says, "I sat on the floor right over there and wrote hits with Jose Feliciano, or played jam with Jose Feliciano." And I said, "That's amazing." He says, "Take it home with you." And I was petrified. I didn't want to take it home. I said, "No." He says, "It's just a guitar. Take it home." So he insisted. So I pack in this D-28 and take it to the house in Oxnard, this humble little, my first home I bought, and kept the guitar and locked in a closet for 2 weeks. I never played it because I didn't want to hurt it. And there's a story about me calling him back anxiously to bring the guitar back. I went a second time, that time with my son, who got to meet him. He was a young boy at the time. And then I went a third time with Jay Ferguson. But the second time I went, I asked Bill about song publishing and how it worked. And he pulled a memo off his desk. As you can see this, it says, memo from Bill Withers. You can get a little, and it's a little bit longer, but he pulled it off, and there's a circle there, if you can see. And up on one side, it has a J, and it says songwriter, or SW, on this side, which was me and him, and P for publisher. And he was explaining to me how royalties work. So I saved this note. And then the second time I went back with the album, or maybe the first time, I can't remember. And it says, Rod, all the good stuff to you from now on. Peace, Bill Withers. And I remember, I wish I had had a magic marker at the time, but they weren't handy. So Bill just pulled up. I think I brought a Bic pen and signed it. Nonetheless, Bill signed it. The other thing I'm proud of in regard to this one record is back in the day, on December 29th, 1998, I wrote a record review. My first email address was rodventura@aol.com. I had a bunch of people thought it was sound like a porn star name or a wrestler or something. But this review was the top rated review on Amazon probably for more than 10 or 15 years. It's not up right now because I looked this morning, but I did an AI search, and I'm still in the computer there somewhere. And a lot of people, when they reviewed, was this a helpful review to you? It said yes. It's another story, but it's called Sunday Morning Playlist. And so the end of the story, not the end of the story, is that Jay Ferguson came down with me. And Jay was working on some movie scores at that time. I can't remember exactly what project he was working on, but he got to meet Bill Withers too. And on the way back, Jay was going, Rod, I can't believe I met Bill Withers, And for years, I couldn't understand why he wasn't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But as it turned out, Ringo Starr, I believe Paul McCartney, and some other people got that job done, because Bill was an amazing songwriter, and he didn't have it easy growing up. He was from West Virginia, and he told me a lot of personal stories about him growing up, and none of the things that he shared with me in person, I don't feel comfortable talking about it because they were kind of personal, and it was sad when he died right in COVID after his daughter had the first baby. He never got to see his daughter's grandson because all the stupid COVID rules kept him separate. And then Bill got sick and died. And then as another point, I think Terrell Harrison has passed too, which is a very sad day. So that's that.